This is Chiming In with Elise and David.
I was thinking about how growing up we always traveled to New York or New Jersey for Thanksgiving. I know we touched on this early on. I don't know what you did when you did that, but we had activity bags in the car for the long trip. Or if we were flying, we had, we still had our activity bag. But the number one game I played with my dad when we were flying was something he called the squiggle game.
What's that?
And I'm kind of thinking maybe he made it up, probably in his therapy practice.
Right.
So he's probably analyzing me. Just kidding. But it was called the squiggle game, and what it was, I loved it because I love, thinking like that. But whoever's turn it is, you draw a little line, whatever it is, one continuous line, and it could be any kind of squiggle, in other words, that you want. You pass it to the other person, and then they need to make, something out of it. So we wouldn't make abstract art at that point. You're trying to make it into like a face or a duck or whatever you decide it sort of looks like. You use it to make it into something else. And I can totally picture my dad being so surprised at whatever I would come up with. He thought that was really fun. So we were just sitting here talking before we started recording about some of those old times and games that we used to play or things that used to take up our time when we were little before we had smartphones.
Smartphones that make us dumb.
Oh my God.
So let me have a question about the squiggle game. Did
Yeah.
you have to show your mom to get like who won the squiggle game, or is it like a competition?
It's not a competition.
Oh, I thought it was a game.
No, it's a time taker upper.
What does that mean? A time taker upper?
Okay. It's pretty obvious what it means. You're just doing it. It's just fun.
Okay.
And then
So
after you're done drawing your
You said it was a game, and games have winners and they have losers.
You're not funny. Are you trying to be funny?
I'm just. You said it's a game. If you're just saying a time waster, that's what that is. But you just said it's a game, so I thought maybe there was a winner. So there's no winner.
I think we should start videoing this so you could see my face right now.
Yeah, it's very pensive. So you want to talk about other games that possibly
yeah.
we could suggest for the holiday season
Yeah,
that might
yeah,
be
yeah,
fun?
yeah. We have, because we raised 4 children.
Well, wait, before you start, I want to tell you what I did growing up.
Thank
So
you.
we were mostly in a car driving, and when we drove, we did the license plate game, right?
Same.
Find the license plate, the different states. Although I don't think that we were really keeping track. I don't think we had like a list. I'm not really sure how we did this.
We had a list.
You had a list?
Like with one of those little like pencils from like Putt Putt.
The ones that you can't sharpen?
Yeah, exactly. The worst pencil ever.
Oh, that's funny.
You didn't have so how do you know who won?
I don't know. I think we were just trying to keep track in our heads.
Maybe you did it as a collaboration. That's what we did. Like we were all contributing to the list.
Oh, I just remembered something else too. We did the memory game. Do you remember the memory game?
With the little cards?
No. What you would do is you would have to think of first of all, you go by the alphabet, so A, B, C, D, and you'd pick up a theme like,
yeah.
Like animals or food or something like
Yeah.
that.
Sylvie
And then
loves this game.
You'd have to go around the whole car, and everybody would have to think of a word associated with the letter that they had. So if
Right.
you were A, you'd say A, and it would be like,
Apple.
ant, or apple if it was, food. And then you'd have to remember everything that the person did before and go around
Yeah, that's fun.
until you couldn't remember anymore.
What did Sylvie used to like to do? She had a different version of that. I feel like it wasn't about the memory so much as just going in circles and coming up with the different themes. Is that all we were doing?
She might have been playing the game that we also played, which is the word game. And that is
that's
you start off with a letter and you go around the car and everybody has to think of the next letter of a word. Any word you want, you just continue the word. And whoever ends the word, that person loses. They get a mark against them. So like you'd start with, I don't know, like F, and I'd say A, and you'd say...
Wait, you just lost me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or I blacked out or something.
So we're making a word, and you would start with a
We're
letter.
making a word?
We're making a word. You'd start with a letter, any letter.
You said F.
F,
What
and
does that
then
mean?
A. So I'm just saying, like if you were trying to say far, F-A-R, R would be the last letter of the word, and that person would then have a mark against them.
I hate this game. I don't understand it. And also, that's not the game that we were talking
Oh,
about.
okay. All right.
Don't you remember? I feel like we'll have to have her tell us, but I feel like she would say like themes, like you're saying,
Oh,
like
you're
fruit.
thinking of progressive story. That's when you start a story and you say, and then the next person has to pick up on the story and you make up a story.
Okay, do it real quick.
So you'd be like, once upon a time, there was a little girl named Elise, and she was really cute, and she lived in Virginia Beach, and then,
She met the biggest goofball, David. is that is that good?
that's exactly how it goes. Only I don't like the answer to the story. I don't like the way it's going.
So I win?
No.
Okay. Let's switch gears for a moment to like modern day games because we've discovered one that everyone seems to really get a kick out of, and it is it called the Imposter game on the app?
Yes, it's called imposter.
Imposter. And it's been really fun. There is some sort of real life handheld game, but I can't think of the name of it that's similar. But this is an app, and what it is you have, let's say you have 4 players. You put your names in: Elise, David, Sylvie, Bella, and what it is there is a secret word and subject, and you click on your name, you pass the phone around, you click on your name, and each person receives the word. One person receives the word imposter. So that person is going to have to fake the game basically. And then everyone else tries to guess who's the imposter. And so what happens is it's like a social deduction party where one player secretly is the imposter, and the goal is for everyone else to describe to guess which one of you is not telling the truth. The word that you have on your card is not you may not use that word.
Right.
So you have to use
You have to
something
use the word to
adjacent.
describe the word. Exactly. So let's say the word was field. Then you could say grass, and you could say
Meadow.
whatever. And then with the person who's the imposter is trying to figure out a word that's similar to what we're talking about so that they can kind of pass under the radar and nobody thinks that they're imposter. So
Yeah, and
it's fun. It's
it's
really
super
fun.
fun. It's funny, and sometimes we've noticed this happens occasionally, and it's so funny for some reason. The imposter ends up using the actual word that everyone
Yes,
else
yes.
has,
They'll
because
say like field, and everybody's looking at them like,
so we're
"Oh,
like,
you're
"Hi."
the imposter."
Yeah, so it's actually been really really fun for across a lot of ages. So that was a good one I wanted to share. We can put a link to it maybe in the show notes. And then the other when we played last Thanksgiving, we had little ones at our table. We had like a table of, I don't know, 20
It
people
was a
or
lot of
something. A
people,
lot of people. We were in the Outer Banks, and we had one of those really long tables. And it's called Left, Center, Right.
right? But it's not a political game.
Okay. No, it's not a political game. It's really for all ages. There's actually nothing to it. So if you need to like sort of not be focused on a game, you can definitely do 2 things at once. We don't even need to go into it, but it's pretty cute. You you have 3 dice.
Die.
Die.
Actually, more than that, because there could be.
There's 3,
All right. Well,
and you basically the die tell you what to do depending on how many chips you have. You can use chips, you can use dollars, you can use money. For example, we had 3 single dollar bills in front of each of us when we started, which was super fun. So then whoever won the pot won like a little bit of cash. So it was kind of fun. But they come with chips, and it just tells you what to do. If it's left, you pass left. If it's right, you pass right. If it's center, you put it in the center, or you can keep. And you try to be the person with money left at the end.
it's funny because sometimes you'll have like one chip left, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
the way that it works is that people start passing them to you, and you end up with a lot.
So it's kind of dumb. Like it's mindless, I guess is what I want to say. But it was really cute for the littles because they could participate in something we all we all could kind of laugh about. So
That's
that
right.
was a good
We
one.
played a couple
Because
times.
they
That was
can't
fun.
do sometimes the word games and stuff like
Right.
that. Yeah.
One of my favorite games is Blockus or Blocus. I still don't know how to say it. It's Blokus, but
Why wouldn't, isn't it block
I
us?
don't know. They don't really tell you
Like
how to
block
say it.
us? You're
Blocus,
block.
I don't know.
Oh my
There's no
God.
C in it, so it's just
Could you have
BLOK.
looked that up before you just announced it?
Well, people
All
are
right,
going
go
to
ahead.
know
What
how
is
to
it?
spell it now.
Or not even what is it?
The way the game works is there's a board, and you can play. There's two different types of games. You can play with 4 people or 2 people, and the 2 people board is smaller, and the 4 person board is larger, obviously with 4 different colors. So the idea is you want to put down all your pieces, but your pieces are all different shapes and sizes, and you have to start in the corner. And basically, what you're trying to do is block the other people
Got it.
from putting their pieces down. So it's super,
Yeah,
super fun.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
What about if you don't have anything with you? One of my favorite games growing up, and I know your family also played, even though we didn't know each other at the time, charades.
Oh, yes. Charades.
I
Yeah.
feel like you have a really funny story about that.
Well, what's funny about it is whenever my father would play the game, like this was his thing, he would just keep doing the same thing, and then he would move his hand in a circle like just keep guessing. And we're like, we don't understand what you're talking about at all. And my mom, she would come over and actually manipulate your mouth when you were saying things to try to get you to say the right word. So if you were saying the word and you weren't saying, she would try to stop you by putting her hand on your mouth and
Oh,
it was
just to get like the syllable
to
or
get,
something?
yeah, she'd stop you. She'd like assault you by telling you to stop. So
That's
that was really
awesome.
fun.
That's funny. And then the only other things that kept popping in my head were some things that we did with our kids, more along the lines of doing some art, of course, puzzles. Some of our kids really like doing a puzzle, like for the several days that they're home.
Oh, you're talking about like
Just
just like
just being
the
together, family
puzzle,
time.
putting the pieces together to make a picture or whatever, that kind of
Are
puzzle.
you serious right now? A
There's lots
freaking
of
puzzle.
there's crossword puzzles. There's lots of puzzles.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Just a regular.
Jigsaw puzzle. That's the word you're missing. We didn't know what you were talking about, Elise.
Everybody knew.
You said puzzle.
You guys can go ahead and text
So
me.
many puzzles.
I know you know.
So many puzzles.
Okay. All right. Anyway, that wasn't even what I was talking about. Yeah. So, Sylvia again, she really loves games and she loves printing out coloring pages, or I think you could just draw them out yourselves. But basically, a game where 2 people sit behind closed, like a barrier, so you can't see what the other person's doing. And she really likes playing a game where you kind of come up with either you have the same art and you're both doing it, or which works great for younger kids, or maybe you have a theme and you're like, fruit and I don't know, or a turtle jumping off a cliff, and you just enjoy each other's art at the other side.
Yeah, she loves doing that.
It's really cute. Like she likes this. She likes that feeling of being surprised. So I think that was how that she kind of designed that little game herself, maybe, or she probably saw it on TikTok for all I know. And then we also used to do some stuff for like Thanksgiving that was pine cone art. You know, when not everybody has pine cones, but if you do, collecting some stuff outside like that.
I don't like pine cones. I always feel like they cut my fingers when I pick them up because they're so prickly. So I don't really like them.
Well, not everybody feels that way.
Definitely Remy doesn't.
One of our 3 adorable dogs, she picks up a pine cone and walks down the street with it just in her mouth, like a bit. It's like in her. That's just how she walks down the street, holding the pine cone in her mouth.
Pine cone, and it's always such a surprise because you don't ever see or hear her picking it up. All of a
Nope,
sudden, you
she's
look
just
down,
grabbed
and
it.
she's just got it.
It's very cute.
It's really funny.
Yeah, so the pine cone, I do love it because it you can stick almost anything in between it and it stays. So little pieces of paper or whatever. I mean, you can make so many things with that, and basically like turkey art.
Oh, right. I remember that.
Yeah, the
Growing up,
kids.
like in grammar school, or whatever, you'd always have like a pine cone, and
Yeah.
oh, I know you would stick the pipe
Turkey
cleaners.
feathers.
Pipe cleaners. You could do stuff with pipe cleaners in them.
Pipe cleaners.
You know what I'm talking about, to make the legs and
do.
stuff.
Well, I do want to mention one thing that has to do with food that kids would probably love doing. And it is something that I posted on my social media page decades ago, I think, and
Was
everyone
there
loved it.
social media decades ago?
Whatever. Okay.
Would we
And
using MySpace or
okay, okay,
something?
okay. And anyway, so it is making a turkey. The head or body of the turkey is like half of a pear. Okay, so the pear shape.
Right?
Do you remember this?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so you cut a pear in half,
Oh,
and you
like a real pear? Okay, go ahead. Why is that so funny? I don't understand why asking if it's a real pear is funny.
are you recording?
Yeah, of course. Just go on and tell everybody what you're talking about, this pear.
So the pear
So wait,
is
you get a fruit. Let's talk about a real piece of fruit and you cut the pear, right?
just so I am clear. What other freaking pear is there?
Well, you could get a picture of a pear and put that on there, I guess.
Didn't I start the whole thing saying food?
Yeah, but it could be pictures of
All right,
food.
cut it out. Okay, so half a pear, real pear, on the plate. Okay, so face the cut part face down, and then that's the body of the turkey, and then the whole rest of the plate behind it is going to be where like the kind of feathers go. But what it is it's half cut grapes all around that make like basically the whole entire like arc of the feathers of the turkey, and then in between I'm going to post a picture when we drop this, but in between I put little blueberries, so the whole idea looks like a beautiful big huge turkey, and really it's just food. The kids would love to create it. And then I made little legs with little, I don't even know, cut carrots or peppers or something, and little eyeballs, and
I
it's
think I
so
remember.
cute.
I remember that
Yeah,
now.
it's so cute. It was very, very well received, and the kids enjoyed helping kind of make it so that it became like a platter that looked like a turkey.
That's
It's just
cute.
fun. It was just like a fun
Yeah,
activity.
that's cute.
So cute. So let's pivot just a touch on back to the travel idea with the small kids, especially when we used to go down to the Outer Banks for the holidays. It's not that far for us, but you couldn't get into the house till 4, and it was winter, so of course it was dark at 4, and the kids would be so excited, and we thought, oh my God, what have we done? They're never going to go to sleep. They're never going to lay in their own beds. Everything's going to be a mess. This is literally pure chaos. And at some point, I don't even know if our kids know we did this. At some point, I had the idea to put the digital clocks in their room that they had, to put it an hour ahead.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
We
We run around the
were-
house changing all the clocks.
Yes. And we had to do it like, we were like, it was like Mission Impossible because we had to do it without them watching. And so then, of course, when it said, 8 o'clock, it was like, oh, it's bedtime, even though it was 7 and whatever. So we tried. Remember, it kind of worked. We got them in bed. But the only trick is,
the worst people.
we're the best. The only trick was you had to go and fix it in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The other,
That's
the
right.
other.
That's right. Otherwise, they wake up and oh my
Yes.
God, it's
But it's
11
a little
o'clock in
trick
the
if you have
morning.
little ones. It's so good.
Right. Good trick.
Yeah.
If you want to fool your children into
Well,
thinking the time
you know
is
what?
different.
It's a vacation, so you need a break.
So with Thanksgiving coming up, I know a lot of people are experiencing what we're experiencing, which is the return of our child from college. Bella is coming home and wanted to say a couple of words about what that experience is like. I know, Elise, you've read an article recently. Somebody wrote about kind of people having a family member come back home and some suggestions.
Yeah, it's super cute. It was on the Grown and Flown. We can put it in the links, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pretty cute article. Don't forget to do this one thing over Thanksgiving break. It's called. It was written 5 years ago by Michelle Newman, and it was just a cute article because she basically kind of talks about half like the fantasy of what you want Thanksgiving and your kid coming home to be like, and of course there's a lot of sort of expectations versus reality going on. Those are my words. And yeah, she basically just talks about like don't stare at her too much, and you know, but at the same time, I think it's very interesting because we're all experiencing the break from being away from each other and the time coming home a little differently. So and now this is our fourth year away, so I think we're all a little bit better at it. But my gosh, we know a lot of parents that are going to have their first college student coming home right now, and there's a lot of warning, I would say, that I'd like to give everyone because you want it to be a certain way, and I'm pretty sure I can guarantee it's not going to be.
Right. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's tricky, I think, because all they're doing is living away, of course, with their friends, and away from you, your house, your rules, all the things, and then they come home. So part of it is they're so glad to be home, and then the other part is like, holy crap, I don't live like this anymore. So it's very hard, I think, on them, and we've learned as best we can to give a lot of space and not overcrowd. So it's a lot of watching and sort of taking her cue on how much or as little, and by the way, even when we are doing pretty good job at it, there's usually a pivot where no one's winning, and whatever we thought we were doing to respect her space or give her a lot of attention, whichever way it is, all of a sudden it'll just sort of erupt and backfire because it's just like it's just too much of
Right.
emotion, I think, on them.
I mean, I think that it's really probably very hard for a child to leave and then have their own space and their own comings and goings. And then, of course, they come back to the house. And
Did I just say that?
you did, but I'm saying it a little differently.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say this. I remember my mother always saying that my sister would come back from college. She would say that she could never go to sleep until my sister was back in the house. And I definitely feel that way when my kids are out of the house
It's
at
so
night.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when she's away, I'm not. I
You
know
know
some
she's
of you
not going to
are
be in your house. So.
watching your life 360 like a hawk, and I don't recommend that. But it is different when they're home, and I want to make sure I know where everybody is. And yeah, it's pretty interesting because she's used to having her own refrigerator and her own food and her own everything and just handling everything. And so, we're the worst probably some of the time.
I will definitely put a link in the show notes so that people can look at that article if they'd like to.
I was just thinking it would be wonderful if anyone who's listening wants to send us a note on any of your games that you like to play with your family, or tips and tricks for how to adjust when your college student comes home, because we're all going to be doing this again in just a few weeks for winter break. And if there's any additions that we can offer, I would love to hear from our listeners. I keep wanting to call them podlings. This sounds terrible, though.
Like a duckling?
No, pod, like a pod.
Oh, I love that. Podling.
You know what it's from?
What?
Do you remember that movie, The Dark Crystal?
Yes.
Okay, so that was one of my favorite movies
With the
growing up.
sketch skis.
Oh my gosh. My dad took me to the movies, and we never went to the movies I don't think ever any other time except just the two of us, except that movie, because, well, I don't know why. And it was wonderful. So it was a super core memory for me, and I love the movie, and I love the Gelflings and all about it, and all my friends know that I love it. So yeah, they called them podlings.
Who's podlings in that show?
That's the name of the people.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I just actually looked it up. Those were the small, humble, plant-loving folk who. So I feel, yeah, they were called the podlings or pod people, and they were the gentle, earthy race of people in the Dark Crystal universe in the original 1982 movie. And I have to tell you, I'm pretty sure our listeners are gentle, earthy race,
That's the perfect description.
right?
So, with all this family time coming up, Lise, you have some helpful hints about how to navigate this time period?
Yeah, I think that there's just one really big overarching thing that everyone can do, and it's really lower your expectations. And I know that sounds funny. I did gave my dad a mug for Father's Day once, and it says, "Want to know how to be proud of me every day? Lower your expectations." But the truth is, expectations, they're the little ideal movie that we play in our mind without realizing it, the stories that we tell ourselves. And they're a real quick portal to disappointment. And there's no reason, if we can control those movies, if if we can control our own self and our own thoughts, there's no reason for disappointment on the other side. It reminds me of when Sylvie was little and she used to do those TikToks, expectations versus reality.
Oh,
I don't know if
right,
they were
right.
TikToks,
With her friends, yeah.
musically or something back then. But yeah, and that phrase has never left my brain. I love that because we cannot control anyone but ourselves. So whatever's happening when we're around our children or our parents or all of the above, friends, it doesn't matter what is going on if we don't have that ideal, fantasy movie if in our mind. I mean, it's only a human, it's human to do that, but on the same time we have control over it. I mean, those are like silent contracts that we don't mean to make, but somehow we do, and all of a sudden somebody doesn't play the role the right way, and something was said that was a rub, and it's hard to breathe in those situations. But how do we go through that with still feeling like you can have enjoyment, right? Because at the end of the day, we're looking for joy and gratitude. I mean, listen, expectations are kind of like hope in disguise, right? Like you want it to look a certain way. It's an attempt to feel safe because it's like you want to be in control. So it's your way of predicting or preparing rather for something that is unpredictable. So the brain and your mind kind of, I don't know that we're always aware that we've done it. And then unfortunately you get to the other side of, a scene, and with usually obviously with other people, and it's just not quite, the connection wasn't made. You don't really feel seen. You're not appreciated. Something kind of goes wrong or goes askew. I think that releasing that, it's a practice. So I'm not suggesting that it's going to be magical all of a sudden, but every time you notice the next few days, when you're going to be around all these people, every time you notice your mind wandering, like, oh, or being talked to a certain way, you can excuse yourself. You can run to the restroom, or you can go outside and take a breath, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to have that sensation of what am I trying to say? The it's like a heavy. It's disappointment. I can't think of another word right this second.
It's probably also helpful maybe to have someone that you can go to and kind of have this knowledge that when things are going a certain way, you can go to them and kind of look at them and know, like have a comrade, somebody that that understands what's
Well,
happening.
yeah, I mean, it's always great if you can look over at your spouse or your cousin or your sister, whoever. Yeah, of course. But I think that, like, in practical purposes, I think if the nugget I want to leave with everybody is this: when you hear yourself, you do have to acknowledge it inside that something is going. Instead of saying this is how it should go, first of all, that word is very, very. It's like a little curse word. Should is a curse word. So you have to move into, I wonder how this is going to go down. So you have to move into curiosity. And as soon as that happens, instead of, everyone is doing it the wrong way, there is no wrong way. Suddenly you're just curious. Oh, I wonder how they make their stuffing. Oh, I wonder why they are speaking to those people that way. That's curious. It changes everything, and it neutralizes it. I'm really big on that, emotional alchemy. And I really think that way everyone gets to show up, just how they are, including yourself. You don't have to put on a show. Just be and allow and just know that everyone approaches life a little differently. It's not through the same lens as yourself. I think that's a straight, the pathway into feeling grateful for the people around you. You don't have to be hurt, and you don't have to do pain in order to survive the holidays. So I don't know. I think that, of course, expectations versus reality is just a sort of a place marker in your mind. And as soon as you feel somebody might put the expectation on you, and they're just doing that because they have a high level of need for control, and it feels heavy. And once again, it's a script and it's a story in their head. It's the same as when we do it ourselves. So since we all understand it, can we just give each other some grace? Even if the feeling is tension, you have control over your acceptance of that. You have the ability. You have free will, and you have the ability to say, I don't have expectations. Everything will be more curious. You will have a much brighter week, and meet people where they're at, including yourself. Meet in the moment. Show up as you are. Let other people be themselves. Allow imperfection. Choose honesty, right, over performance. And just be your authentic self. It's when you put out that vibration that's authentic, it will come back to you. And expectation collapses really when authenticity comes in. So that's how you show up. I have chills. That's how you show up, and it will kind of ripple out from there.
And also play lots of games.
And I just have to share the funniest story super quick. My mom came over Sunday dinner, and she came in and she had a little gift bag with her, and it had a bow on it and everything. And she passes it over to me, and I open up the tissue paper, and guess what was inside?
What?
A can of cranberry sauce.
Perfect. Somebody must be listening to our podcast.
Yeah. And so we had such a great, hilarious amount of feedback on that. I don't know, maybe it was split equally between the three choices. Thank you, everyone who participated in that. I hope everyone enjoys whatever they prefer. And I just wanted to say, beyond the being curious and playing games and making it all happen, just have the best Thanksgiving and enjoy your time together. It's a beautiful week of celebration. There are a lot of people who are new to podcast world and our podcast. Obviously, thank you. So I just wanted to give a very, very quick thing. Everyone keeps asking exactly how to do this, all these buttons and following and whatnot. And each app is its own version, right, David?
Right. Yeah, Apple's different from Spotify.
Yeah, and there's a few others, obviously. But if you can just find where it says to follow
or subscribe,
and if you scroll down, there's a place to rate the episode or rate the show. You can click the 5 stars, obviously. And then, as I mentioned the past few times, if that little share button, you send the link to a friend or anyone. It's super helpful. We really appreciate you. And if you have any questions about that, I've had several people wanting to help but don't really know exactly what to do. I really appreciate the questions because it's easy to help you individually. So thank you again. And we're just thrilled that everyone's loving this podcast. So far, so good.